Morning folks, I'm Dave Canterbury with the Pathfinder School. What I thought we'd do today is work up an example of a project that we're going to be working on in the tool making workshop coming up November 7th and 8th here at the Pathfinder School. There are 8 slots available for that class, I believe, and we just posted it yesterday or this morning, so there should still be slots available. One of the tools that you'll be making will be this Virginia pattern 1751 belt axe. And you'll receive a kit just like this for this tool, and you'll also be making a welded froe, and you'll be making a draw knife in that class. So we'll make 3 tools in that workshop over the course of a weekend. This belt axe is going to be in the form of a kit, very much like a knife blank. This is a 6150 high carbon steel axe head that has been cast molded. It's now ready for shaping, a little bit of forging to make the bit a little wider if we want it to be. We're ready to grind our bevel in by hand. Then we're ready to heat treat, temper, and finish the axe and go ahead and haft it to the handle. All of those things will be done in the class, but I thought what we do today is kind of go through that process together and kind of dress this axe up a little bit, make it look a little bit cooler. Do a little bit of hand forging on the blade here, widen the bit a little bit, maybe do a little bit of file work, put some dragon teeth style file work in the back of the axe before we harden it, and just final shape everything the way we want it with sanding belts, things like that before we mount it. So stay with me. I'll get the gas forge fired up. We're going to try to do this in the gas forge today so we don't have to fire up the coal forge for a small project like this. If we were going to forge weld like our froe eye that we're going to do in the workshop, we'll do all of that stuff with the coal forge. It's very hard to get metal hot enough in a gas forge like this to forge weld, and I've had a lot of questions about how I like the gas forge versus the coal forge. The gas forge is a dream for heat treating. For banging around on small projects, it's not bad. If you want to heat up good thick heavy metal like horseshoe rasp and things like that, or you want to get welding temperature heat, especially with just a 2 inlet majestic forge like this, you're going to need to use the coal forge for that, and then the propane forge for your heat treat process. Stay with me, guys. Alright, so we don't have to get crazy with this axe. Like I said, it's already blank. Very much like a knife blank. And it has some bit already in it. So really what we're trying to do is just draw that bit out a little bit around the edge. Okay, so before I start on the blade, I wanted to do just a little bit of file work to this head. She's plenty hard still, that's for sure. And I'll come in and clean that up with a finer file here. Clean that line up. Get that line and that line meeting right in the middle right there. So you can see what I'm starting to get here with this file. There's kind of a series of like scales or pattern of arrows in there. And then it's just a matter of refining everything as you go, getting it shaped exactly the way you want it. Then we'll come here to this side. Do the same thing. We're a little low on that side. So, bevel a little bit this direction. Like that. Remember, you're going to do a lot of final shaping of this anyway later as you go. So you got time to straighten anything out you don't like. So I got 1, 2 ledges right there, 3 if you count that front one. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Need to bevel this up just a little bit this way. Okay, now that I got my initial file work done, I can start working on this bevel. And all of this stuff I do, I'm going to do by hand on this axe because that's the way we're going to do it in class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and get myself a grind line, first of all. Get this axe head evened up exactly the way I want it. Remember, we pounded this thing, so we've misshapen it a little bit. We need to get back to a nice round profile. While you've got this thing pretty much annealed, there's definitely time you want to do all of these fine adjustments and all of this heavy grind work. Because once you put this thing through the heat treat process, you just want to have to final sharpen and buff this thing. You don't want to have to mess around with all this file work after that. You'll be here all day. And I'm staying with the bevel line that I ran there with my hammer. You see these few heavy scratches right here in the steel. That means my file's dirty and I'm dragging flakes across there that are stuck in the file. So I got to clean that file out now. And then I can get back in there and get rid of those as long as I didn't wait too long. Again, this file's only cut in one direction. It sounds like I'm cutting both, but I'm only pushing down on the forward stroke. What I'm looking for is kind of that ribbon line that you get when you're grinding a knife.